Week 4, baby. We have not been canceled.
We're back again.
Unbelievable.
Some say we never should have started. I can't hear you at all. I'm pretty sure we're both talking over each other because the media board is so loud.
You're right. Maybe we shouldn't have started. But we're in week 4, and we have not been canceled. Unbelievably, we have not been canceled.
Because you edit out all the stuff that would have made us go viral.
I'm waiting. The cancellation's coming. It's just how big are we going to get before it happens?
Once again, we've had this conversation. You are trying to change the man after the wedding. You don't do that.
I'm your host, Jay Chadwell, with
I'm
the
Logan.
talented, exceptional, green jacket wearing. We'll get to that.
Thank you.
Logan Hayslip.
This is one of my master's shirts, one of my several. This is my favorite week of the year. Be damned, Christmas. Give me Masters Week 365 days a year, 52 weeks.
Yeah, but it's just like the eclipse today. Like, if you see an eclipse every day, it's not as special. If you have the Masters every day, it's not as special.
No, I think I could live at Augusta National and never ever have to leave the property for anything ever.
Yeah, it's like, what do you think the price of like a house in Augusta is?
Well, I mean, there's nothing in around the course.
Like subdivision by Augusta. How much you think?
I don't know. Well, you got to think, and it's such a big thing even for places to just rent their house out 1 week a year. So I mean, you're probably going to it's like a destination, but I mean, it's not going to be too crazy. I mean, Atlanta is probably higher priced in general, and it's about 3 hours away from Atlanta. I'd say it's not as crazy as you would think. That would be my assumption.
That's a good point. Like, just renting your house out for 1 weekend, for 1 week, could almost pay your mortgage for a week, depending on where you live. And how close
it would pay. I guarantee there's houses down there right now, because I mean, I don't think there's a ton of hotels and stuff in the area. And this is me doing poorly researched, somebody who really wants to go terribly, and just like I'm always. Actually, there's a buddy of mine who's down there right now. Chris Owens is down there right now with Steven's sister, Jessie Mason. They are down there at Augusta right now, and I saw a picture, and I was so happy for them, and I hate them because I'm just so jealous and envious. I can't tell you. It's like
Okay, so what percentage are you happy and jealous? Like, if that's 100% of you right now, happy and jealous, which one? Where are you at?
There's the 1% happy and 99% jealous. I'll be completely honest. I just want it to be. I love golf so much. Golf has really become. I always joke, and I was like, I started playing when I was 25 because I got too fat to play basketball. But golf is, in my very busy life, just time. I don't get mad the way that a lot of I can get mad. I'm not saying I don't, but the way that I got mad when I was younger playing golf just never happens. I'm just always happy to be playing golf, just all the time. And it's like a lot of people. I bought this land, right? And everybody's like, oh, well, it's great hunting. I was like, I don't hunt. I was like, oh, well, let's go to Gatlinburg and go hiking. It's like, no, I'm cool, thank you. The only times that I like to go outside are 99% of them I'm on a golf course. That's my outdoor time, my connection to, and it's why the good courses like Stone Lick around here, I value so much because I love, I love going off at I'm weird. I love going off at 6:30 in the morning. It's my favorite time. The world is just quiet, and it's just you and God's beautiful nature. And it's, you know,
No,
I get spiritual bull.
No, you gotta have that, you gotta have that break, whatever that might be.
And I have that break 6 times a week for 4 or 5 hours a day. It's just,
It's not anything else besides a break.
Break. Most of my time, more time than I spend with my children. So
I get it. My break is Fortnite. And you're the one that got me on that, and you haven't played that in years.
I just can't do. I secretly still play video games from time to time, but I do.
I know Tom Clancy.
Yeah, I play. That's fun. That game's fun. It's different. I just can't do the same thing. The only same type of games that I can consistently play and that I do play all the time is chess. I probably play 30 games of chess a day. I got addicted to speed chess. It's a mental thing for me. I got blocked on chess.com's chat because I kept talking to other players. In speed chess, it's like people try not to resign when they're clearly beaten. And, like, I will literally intentionally prolong the game to, like, make them suffer and, like, talk trash. Yeah, I got kicked.
Like, Jess would always talk about, and I've seen too, like, especially in the Call of Duty days, you would just, like, I mean, during those Call of Duty lobbies, you know how they were. People were bad. You were another level. It was unreal.
You want to talk about getting canceled?
Canceled. If there is any recording of you on those Call of Duty chats,
I'm unhireable. I'm on the streets. Like the next day, the law enforcement would be coming to me like, I can't believe national security hasn't kicked down. It's like you are a menace to society and you do not belong with normal people.
No, it's great. And just real quick, we said this before we started recording, but the shirt had to happen because I told Meg, like, oh yeah, you're showing me up right now, and I can live with you showing me up with your words, but I can't have you showing me up, like, so I got to start dressing up a little bit.
I invite you to first cut your hair. That'll be a huge help. And second, I just dress like this every day. Everybody's like, this is just like my new like hoodie and shorts from high school. It's like these polos are insanely comfortable. William Murray Golf, by the way, feel free to sponsor. I own literally 90 of these shirts, and they're all just different crazy patterns and stuff like that. But yeah, I wear Under Armour shorts, like khaki shorts, like different colors. I got like 20 different colors, and one of these. And then if it's cold, I put a pullover on. That's one of these. I just dress like this every day. Like if I was going to hike, I would put on something like this.
I got you.
I don't have normal clothes anymore. I got fat and I only expanded. Yeah, no, I don't. No, but I tell you where I would go hiking, and I was like, Denver ruined Gatlinburg for me. Gatlinburg is the most overrated place. It's right up there with like LeBron James. It's like the most overrated thing in the world. Denver ruined Gatlinburg for me. I love Denver so much. Gatlinburg is just like, you're driving in Kentucky, you look over, it's like, oh look, there's some mountains. It's nothing. And all the shopping stuff.
We went. It has become overpopulated. We went to Denver this past summer to go visit Calv, and we were out there for I think 4 or 5 days, and it was cloudy every single day. I never saw the mountains until we were leaving. No. So we went hiking, and you couldn't see. Like Calvin was, and again, and we'll get into this with the eclipse, but he was like trying to explain to me like, what you were seeing, it's double the size, and you just can't you don't understand it
until you actually see
it. As we
we
were leaving, I was like, and it was again, Denver's a good distance away from the Rockies, but they look so like powerful and big, and I was like, dang, I wish like when we were hiking I could see that. So like I understand what you're saying, like definitely bigger, but I never got like the full effect of them because of the weather.
Did you go to Rocky Mountain National when you were out there?
Yeah, we went to everything out there, and it was just all cloudy.
Was Pikes Peak open?
It was, but it was cloudy. Like I just
did you drive all the way up?
No, we didn't.
Oh, you want to talk about the sketchiest? Like I was
Mom and
tired.
Dad drove up that.
Oh my gosh! So I was tired, and I'm like, "Hey, Emily, you drive." And we're starting at the bottom, and it's 70 and sunny.
Terrible idea.
70 and sunny.
So you said, I didn't know... Emily, I'm tired. Let's die. That's what you said.
Yeah, I didn't know what we were getting into. We start getting up there, and it's snow on the road. And by the way, we're not talking guardrails. Like, you go a foot off the road, you're done. You know you're surviving, know you're getting rescued. You die a terrible, terrible death.
I'm saying.
Flipping down thousands and thousands, and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat,
survived.
Just like, oh gosh, don't get me started on the Fast and Furious movies. I hate those more than I hate LeBron James. I don't even hate LeBron James. It's gotten blown out of proportion. But no. Dude. Anyway, I literally just was like trying not to crap my pants the entire time. Just like thinking, it's like, she can't just stop here in the middle of the road, but I wish she would. Because I would just jump over and just be like, I'll hit 70 cars before I ever get a foot close to that edge.
Yeah,
I would just go straight into oncoming traffic, head-on collision.
Yeah, Meg lived out there for a while. I don't know if she ever drove Pikes Peak though, but there's no way. I couldn't be in the passenger seat for that one.
It killed me. It still scares me. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm starting to sweat. This is not. It's not something that I wish upon anybody.
We got draft. We got your top 10. Just our random silliness as always. But let's start a little bit just about how your carnivore diet is going, because we're on week 2 of 3. So let's do a little. How's everything going with the carnivore?
So the plan was always to make it to this coming Thursday, the 11th,
right.
And I was going to break, in a very hard way. By the way, there's a bar in the airport. I have a 6 a.m. flight. That bar opens at 4:30. I was ready for that bar. I can't wait to get my first beer at 4:30. But I didn't know. I went and played in a golf match yesterday, and this is a true fact. Yesterday was National Beer Day.
Okay.
And that was all that I needed the convincing. I was golfing with a bunch of guys who were all having a couple of beers, and it was National Beer Day, and I was like, you know what? I played 9 holes, and I was golfing with Junior McElroy, and he's like,
you got 9 holes done and you folded there?
Yeah, he looked right at me. He's like,
man.
Am I really going to have to tell your father that you went 18 holes and didn't drink a beer with me? And I was like, well, you got me there. And so, yeah, I had that beer, and I followed it up with a giant pizza from Parker's and a couple more beers with my dad at Parker's for dinner. So I'm back today. We're going strong today. No diet cheating, and we're going to go again till Thursday. So 1 cheat day out of 18 days or whatever. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I feel like 7,000 pounds. I feel like I gained all 15 pounds that I lost back in a single meal in a single day. So
I just that's you, whatever. I got you. That's fine. Yeah. But on diets like that, and everybody's been on diets, but it is when
don't
you have that,
don't you crap on my diet.
When you have that fold is what I'm saying. When you have that failure, during it, you're like, oh, whatever, this is worth it 100%. But when you wake up, whether next day or a couple hours from now, you feel so bad about yourself. Why did I?
I feel so tired. I feel just horrible. I am. Yeah, but it's an actual physical change, and I think I've gone through some weight ups and downs before, and every time I start to lose weight, I'm like, oh my God, how did you exist feeling this terrible every single day? And it's that's just how, So it is what it is. I broke. I am a failure and deserve all the punishment in the world. I'm coming back from this work trip with a revenge. Their big thing is the sports complex across the street built a gym that's a 24-hour gym. Okay. And not a lot of people have signed up for it yet. This podcast might spike their sign-ups. But no, I think I'm gonna go over there because I really just I can do cardio and stuff, but man, I miss lifting weights. I do. When I got strong in my early 20s, it was great, and I miss it. I feel so much better in the limited lifting I've already been doing.
Dude, our fans are not going to be happy with you breaking the carnivore diet.
Well, I think our fans were probably getting tired of sober Logan. I think there needs to be an After Dark Drunk Logan podcast that is for that we put behind a paywall.
I'm not part of that.
I'll just come on here and start talking. I'll tell you what, that's a good idea for that's a podcast. I'll just record it, send it to you, and let you have fun editing it. Yeah, I just
it'd be like, hey, I'm Logan. Hey, Slip, this is After Dark. Thanks for stopping by. It's the whole podcast.
And we're done. Yeah.
Dude, Meg and I were talking again, let's say we have 10 fans. That's fair. Let's say we have 10 fans. Of those 10 fans...
My mom's the biggest fan, I guarantee it.
I do too.
I just know. She's got to be I guarantee we've a couple of our clips have gotten a couple little bit of views. She sent them out to every family member we have, every one of her friends. Like, that's where everything is going. We're actually drastic.
You have to have the biggest fan. You have to have
I don't want it to be my mother.
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate you being our biggest fan.
She actually does listen to all the... You're like, she's going to hear this and be like, oh, thank you, sweetie.
Biggest fan shout out. Okay, of those 10 fans that we have, argument of sake, 10, might be 9, might be 0. Well, it's at least 1. At least 1.
I'm going to say we got 15. At least 10. I'll say 10. 10's
okay, 10's just an easy number for what I'm getting ready to ask you. Of those 10 fans, how many of them are your fans, and how many of them are my fans? What's the split? Meg and I were talking about that.
I'm pretty unlikable. So, we talk. There's a continued thing that's like, how much of me can you take? And maybe once a week is that amount. I'm gonna say I got one great. I'm gonna say I got 2 great fans.
Dude, I disagree. I think
no, because my wife probably listens and enjoys listening to you more. Like, you and my wife, whenever you guys get together, just like something magical happens. It's like you guys haven't talked in. First of all, I introduced you to. Like, I'm the mutual friend in the middle, and it's like somehow it's like a straight line where it's Jay, me, her. Somehow it became a circle, and you two just or it's a triangle, and you guys are the base, and you're just targeted on me. You
have to cut her slack on that, though, because we've talked about how she's like the strongest person, but even the strongest person has their weak moments, right? So she needs that outlet, and I'm like that outlet.
Yes, that was her weakest moment.
I have that outlet now that Jay's here, and we can just hate on Logan for the next 3 to 4 hours, and then I can be strong again. You got to give her.
I beat her mentally too easily. And then you come in and give her that extra backbone of mental support. She can't she can't win a war of words with me. Like, I'm a wordsmith. You come in and it's like you're supplying her ammo. And she's gonna love me saying that. So I'm dead.
It's true. Like, whatever. But
I'm a talker. So what can you say?
Carnivore diet. 1 or no 0. Logan won because you kind of went the other way on it. But
I lost 15 pounds. I'm still down. I feel great. Got my golf swing back.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Eclipse. The eclipse happened today.
Mm-hmm. What did you think?
Okay, first off, like we were just talking about the Rocky Mountains. Mm-hmm. I was legit pumped about it, but I wasn't expecting like phenomenal. I was just thinking, like, this is something cool that I'm going to see, whatever. So, Willow, Meg, and I went, and we drove about an hour west because where we're at, we were not in totality.
You drove an hour?
Is it you asked me.
I'm so sorry. I am. Go ahead.
So, we drove an hour west so we could get 3 minutes of totality. So, you obviously can't look straight at the sun. I don't know if you tried it or not because...
I did when I was a kid. That's why I had to have LASIK surgery, I'm sure.
So we had those solar glasses that you could see. And the solar glasses are insane because, like, everything is black except for the sun. Like, it's all you see. So it almost looks like a yellow moon at that point. It doesn't even look like anything. But you could see it, like, starting to eclipse. But then once the totality hit, if you're in the totality path, you can take your glasses off. Dude, I am telling you, it was one of the top 3 natural occurring things that I've ever seen in my life. I could not believe how amazing that was. And you made a mistake by not going to that. I'm telling you. Because it was that incredible.
I mean, I could see it from my house. I looked at it. I did view it.
But you weren't totality.
Yeah. Listen, my 5-year-old got bored of it. Like, that's the level of, like... You know what entertains her? Everything. There's nothing that she's like the most happy-go-lucky. Everything entertains her.
Did you talk poorly about it?
No, I didn't say a word. No, her teachers at school were her teachers at school. They made glasses. They talked about it. She's got a little diagram. She was gonna show you, but Willow wouldn't go to sleep. And you're a jerk. She is so excited to show you this diagram or this thing she made. Yeah, she'll love that.
I'm sure the diagram is awesome. And I'm also sure that she was excited about it, but she didn't want to show that because she sensed you didn't like it.
That is not what happened. I looked at it, was like, oh yeah, sweet, cool, honey. Like, I get so much more excitement out of, like, I would say that I infinitely enjoy rewatching The Office more than I did that 3 minutes of The Eclipse.
I'm saying naturally occurring things, not
I would rather have seen an owl. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
You would rather see it because you haven't. That's what we're saying.
Hold on, naturally occurring things. I enjoyed and had more fun and enjoyed it with my daughter more watching storm clouds the other night when all that crazy stuff was coming and there was tornadoes. I enjoyed being outside, looking at all that more than I did the eclipse. And now I feel like I'm actually going too far against the eclipse because you're making me to be the bad guy. But now I'm going to go ahead and plant myself firmly in. If you were super, 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 like, in awe of the eclipse, you probably need to, do something else.
But you didn't see the totality, so you can't judge that, first off. So you don't know that. Secondly, I did not expect
How long did the totality last? I need to know.
3 minutes. 3.5 minutes. Didn't expect it to be. So you also know that. Like, when you go to a movie and you don't expect it to be that great, and it is pretty good, you enjoy it a little more than what it actually is because you weren't expecting that much of it. I'm telling you, I didn't expect, I thought, oh, this is going to be cool, an eclipse, whatever. When the totality happened and you could take the glasses off, I could not believe how incredible that was. The volcanoes in Hawaii, when we went there.
I think I'd rather see that.
That's in my top 3 as well. I'm saying that's the level it was at. I don't know what number... I don't know what I would round out the top 3.
There's not a third. He's not told the truth. You never saw an owl. This is how we get back to this. No, I just, I see... You see the sun and the moon all the time. They just cross paths. It's just a...
You can't see the moon. You see the outline of the sun and then just this black...
It was the moon, Jay. Is what it was.
I understand it's the moon. But I'm saying
could go outside right now and look at the moon.
First off, no, you can't because it's on the other side of the earth right now.
Whatever. I don't care.
And that's not what I'm saying. You can't, when you see the moon, you're seeing the reflection of the sun. That's what you see. The moon doesn't have natural light.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
So, since the moon is in between us and the sun, we're not seeing anything of it. It's just a shadow.
Just like Caitlin Clark, I was not drinking the Kool-Aid on this. I'm just not.
We'll get into that because that's what no. We just decided. Well, I decided because I'm the host. We're moving past Eclipse because you're unbelievable that you're that stubborn that you can't just say that it was nice.
No, hold on. It was cool. It gave me a 5. That's out of 10.
On a scale to 10?
I'd give it a 5. Rewatching.
Okay, naturally occurring. What's a 10? No, naturally occurring. What's a 10?
Denver. Denver is a 10. A golf course at 6:30. A golf course at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
In totality, it was 6:30 in the morning at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what it felt like outside.
For 3 minutes.
You could see stars.
Oh, I'll tell you what, and this is not... So, my relationship with nature comes from specific things. So when I say that, I mean, nothing for me will ever beat my memories I have of me and my dad, and we still do it from time to time, sitting on his front porch, drinking a beer together, and just listening to nature and seeing the stars and stuff like that. So the same way that I'm borderline spiritual about golf, it's the thing around nature that makes me love nature. It's the emotional tie to nature.
Okay.
So one of the coolest outdoor moments I've ever had in my life just happened when I went to my farm this summer and built a little fire pit, and we're literally just in the middle of a field and we had a fire and my kids are there. That kind of stuff makes me appreciate everything around me more. So no, you would think that if my daughter was really excited, I would then become excited But my 5-year-old was like, oh, this is like, there it is, and it's still there. Oh, and it's gone.
Okay. Brooklyn is a very intelligent individual.
Thank you.
Thankfully, she got that from her mother.
That's pretty debatable. I wish I prayed.
Do you really measure the greatness
Emotional
of an eclipse purely based on a 5-year-old's opinion?
It's not just that. I was not wowed. I just wasn't. I don't know what you want me to. You're right. It was a religious experience. All
but
hail
you just
the
said
mighty
you would
eclipse.
like it more if Brooklyn liked it. So you obviously are judging it to some extent.
But then I wouldn't have necessarily enjoyed that moment as much as I would have just enjoyed her loving that moment.
So to some extent, you are judging the.
To some extent, yes. You win. You're just like Logan loved the eclipse, and I'm like, the eclipse is all right. You are
That's what I'm saying.
a LeBron James for the best player of all time guy.
I'm wordsmithing you like you do to your wife every day.
I'm telling you, it's like, listen, LeBron is easily the second greatest player of all time, and you're like, no, that's not good enough. He's number one. And that's what you're doing to me with the eclipse. I'm using a metaphor. You're metaphorically doing that to me with the eclipse. I'm like, hey, it was pretty cool. And you're like, no, Logan, that was the coolest thing you've ever seen. And I'm like,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you didn't see it in totality, so you can't judge it the same way. Just like I can't judge the Rocky Mountains like you've seen because I only saw clouds. No. So that's all I'm saying.
The Rockies are pretty cool.
I believe you, but I can't judge that. You're judging something you have no education on. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, the next topic.
So, Dad Bodcast. We never talk about our kids. Well, we do, but we don't. We have to have some fatherly... Like, we can't just be two guys sitting with dad bods and call ourselves Dad Bodcast. So we have to have...
So is like a dad bod like obesity? Because that's where I'm at. I don't know. I don't think you're quite on
it's
that
not
level.
Obesity. It's like, they do some fitness stuff, but they're not trying to win fitness awards.
It does always crack me up because I'll go especially during the winter a long time without doing stuff, and then Brooklyn or Scarlett's birthday party, we rented out the sports complex across the street, and they have a big soccer field. I'll be throwing football and stuff. And, once I get going, once the joint's released, I can still run and stuff like that. Just, enough, shocking myself a little bit. It's I always joke, I'm listen, for 32-year-old, insanely out of shape, 250 pounds, 5'11", I'm as athletic as they come.
Dude, you get yourself going a little bit like that. Emily's like, wow, I hit the lottery.
She jumps all over me every single time we get back. Every single time, she's like, I've never seen that 250 move like that. And I was like, baby, let me tell you.
Dude, that is hilarious. She definitely, she doesn't understand. She hit the lottery. I mean, she does, but she doesn't. She hit the lottery.
Yeah, I just, how do you feel about the thought process that you're living in, your own dream, own mind, and it's a simulation? Because I think about that all the time. I was like, how I ended up in
the
this
Matrix kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of, but something that is it's almost like everyone around you is the NPC, that no one else is real, and you're literally living in basically your own mind, which I mean in some ways we kind of do, but it's almost it's like Truman Show-esque, but nobody else also knows they're in on it.
Gotcha.
That's what that's kind of, because however I got to, I should have died 70 times if we just play this life over and over again. But it's to get to this point seems unlikely, to say the least.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
No, we dude, little boys cheat death way more than the common little girl. I remember when Mom and Dad first let us use the gator, which was a
gator game.
Huge mistake.
I was getting ready to say that.
Huge mistake on their part. But Jess and I decided, you remember behind our house there was that field.
Mm-hmm.
After they after they harvested it, it's just all dirt. So Jess and I decided that we wanted to drive the gator as fast as we could towards like that drop off ditch area from the field to our yard.
Yep.
And Jess hit it. Dude, I'm telling you, he was like
vertical.
Like, I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but like in my mind. And then he got scared, and he's like, "Are you gonna do it?" I'm like, "No."
Dude,
like I know we had a deal, but I don't want to die. But we cheat to death like that all the time.
I think of me, number 8 at Buttermilk, when it gets wet and you're going in a golf cart. And I think there was a time I was with Jess. We should have flipped that golf cart, like, and been in a lot of trouble. Like, we were probably on 2 wheels. Like, I just went, hit the brakes, turned, and I mean, we were done for. I remember I was riding in one of those with Cody Jodry one time, and it started to tip. And thank God he's been going to the gym for forever, because he literally stuck out his leg like a kickstand and stopped us from flipping. Like, it was like, there's so many different, and I have been like very risk conscious. Like, I'm never the guy that does things that could potentially kill me, and I still should be dead. Like, I go above and beyond. Yeah, I like the fact that I haven't just choked while gorging myself on some kind of food, and that's it, and that's the end of it. Like, something like that. Like, how the way that our bodily survival instincts, I guess, just keep us alive. Like, I'm sure that I have sleep apnea. Like, one of these days, like, I'm gonna like just die in my sleep. Like, something is coming. Like, there's no way that it can just, like, the shoe's gonna have to fall on the other foot.
Sleep apnea is way worse for you than your diet. Way worse.
Oh, I know. Well, the good news is, and this is one of the reasons, like, as soon as I started losing some weight and stuff like that, my wife was like, "Oh no, you're sleeping so much better," and all that kind of stuff. So I know what I have to do. It's not like I have to. It's not like I have to like go get. It's like if I can get myself back into reasonable shape, and
I get it.
There's goals. There's goals. There's things.
That's good. It's good to have goals, and obviously segue into parenthood, fatherhood. There's reasons we have these goals, like because we want to be around
very much
for our kids for a long time. So the Dad Bodcast is going to talk about fatherhood now. We're just going to talk about one thing, because I know sports are probably are a little more passion than how poorly of how we handle some fatherhood stuff. So currently we are, and for those of you who do not know, Logan's got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, but Logan's got a 5-year-old. I have a 2-year-old, so he's been doing this for 3 more years than I have. So currently,
6 in a month.
Oh, dang! Look at you.
Yeah,
because she's in kindergarten now, right?
Yep. It's freaking 6 going on 26. It's terrifying.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, it's the worst.
She wants to do everything by herself. Like, you're 2. Like, relax. You can't do it. You can't drive the car. What are you talking about?
Terrible.
We are potty training right now, is what we're going through.
You're going to ask me for anything on this?
So, I know just some of your experience.
Oh.
What I have experienced is, and we'll go through some of the other stuff that
you're going to laugh.
Having a weak stomach as a parent is the worst thing in the world. And potty training. So, she's number 1, but not really wanting to number 2 it. She did once, and Megan took care of it. Thank goodness. But like, even like cleaning the number 1, if it's like starting to splash like close to me, I'll start like gagging, and it's unbelievable how weak of a stomach I have. And I've always known I have, but I didn't realize how bad, because babies do some gross stuff, like snot, spit up, pee, poop, whatever. And every time it's bad, I have a weak stomach. So I'm coming to you as fatherly advice. How can I get through this potty training? What's your advice there?
Don't change diapers. I have legitimately, this is not a joke, through 2 children, changed less than 8 diapers.
Dude, shut up.
I swear, dude, I will go get my wife right now.
How is that possible?
And by the way, all 8 of them might have been Brooklyn. Second kid, I'm pretty sure I'm off scot-free. No, so we're going through potty training with her right now, and it's just, Dude, she did something hilarious today. She tricked the fake potty thing, and like she made it do its thing because she knows she gets M&Ms when she goes potty. So yeah, my wife, dude. Remember my wife being the strongest, greatest woman in the world? It's all her. It's all her. If you would like to get the female opinion on this, I can give it to you. I can't tell you anything because I've never done it. I have a potty trained person, and they just showed up one day and they were potty trained because I didn't do anything about that. Like I'm not joking. Less than 8 diapers. Honestly, I want to say less than 5, but I'm trying not to shortchange myself. This is not a joke at all. My wife went somewhere the other night. She went to Liz McFarland's for some bingo thing, and I had to put the kids to sleep. Which I put Brooklyn to sleep once she got older, but Mommy usually does the sleep stuff too. So before bed, I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, I need a diaper change." And she drove down to my house to change Scarlett's diaper. And I was like, okay, cool, you're good. I'm putting I'm putting them down. And I put Scarlett.
Dude,
Scarlett's the easiest. This was Friday. This was Friday. This was this Friday.
There's no way. You just said you was a 32-year-old man with 2 kids called your mother to change a diaper.
It was great. It was fantastic. Didn't have to look at that at all. Didn't have to mess with it. There's poop. I wouldn't even know. I didn't know she even needed a diaper change. Had no idea. I just knew.
Just in case.
Well, I just knew. It's like, well, before she goes to bed, you got to change a diaper. Which, by the way, like I've been so lucky. Thank you. Yes. See, I know a little bit. So Scarlett's the easiest kid to get down in the world too. Like she'll be all wide awake, and you'll just be like, "It's bedtime." Put your head on her shoulder. You lay her down. You leave. You're done. It's crazy. It's like I've been insanely blessed. Steve, man, this is there's a theory that I want to get to people. And if you want to bookmark something, you bookmark this because this is for all married men, fathers. You have to set the bar really low. Okay. Like I always say, if you set the bar really low, the one time you do the dishes, you're a god. Because it's just like it just comes out of nowhere. It's like so. Like the one time that I put the kids down for bed, my wife's like, "Well, look at you maturing, you great man, you." And I'm like,
"What a guy!"
Oh yeah, you just set the bar really low. Like,
and little did you know, your mom was just there 5 minutes before changing diapers.
Had no idea. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what Mama said. What doesn't know won't hurt her. Whatever, Coach Klein. I can't get it out.
That's incredible.
You don't go play with your kid every single time they want to play, because then the one time you don't play with them, they're devastated. But that if you tell them no 5 times, the one time they ask and you go, you're a king. You're a king. So it's the power of setting a real low bar and then just giving them a taste of what it could be like. Keeps them coming back for more. You know what I mean? In all seriousness,
is insane. Don't follow that advice for whoever's listening.
No. In all seriousness, I am a fantastic father and husband. I just haven't done any of that kind of stuff. And I will toot my own horn. I go. Me and Emily, like, I don't know, like, do you and Megan ever fight?
I think all married couples fight. I think it's irresponsible to think that married couples do not fight.
Dude, I'm not even joking. Emily and I don't think have had a real fight for 3 or 4 years.
I mean, what do you mean fight? Like yelling at each other and?
No, I mean I never. I'm not a big yeller.
You're saying you haven't had a disagreement, like any kind of disagreement, in 3 years?
We've had like, and when you're talking, I'm talking things are over in like 30 seconds, like. But, like, a fight, like, listen, I saw parents fight all the time growing up. I am a product of divorce many times over. I saw a lot of fighting. Nothing. Not even like I would say it's been a year since either one of us have raised our voice. Like, we're just
That's
like.
Not a bad thing. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it would surprise you how well we get along. Like, it's just I just found, but like I said, it literally is like in a world where you can find your soulmate. Emily is my soulmate. And by the way,
I think I was like blinded on that though, because like, you know, mom and dad.
Oh like, yeah, you had the picture of
right. And I think
like yeah.
I thought that's just like not the way it's not supposed to be, because it is how it's supposed to be. I'm not saying that, but I think I was just because they never fought in front of us ever. Like if they had a disagreement, I never knew about it. So, but again, they've been married for over 40 years now. Like you're going to have disagreements along the way, but they were responsible enough not to do it in front of their kids. But because they didn't, I never saw that conflict resolution, I guess. So, like, I struggled with that when I understood that, like, a perfect relationship doesn't mean that you're not going to disagree with stuff. A perfect relationship is how you disagree with that stuff and how you get from disagreement to, okay, understanding, even if you don't agree with each other at the end.
Yeah.
So and it's just I hope Dad watches this because there's like as I got older, I did, you pick up on stuff as you get older.
Yeah.
So one time I was at Mom and Dad's. This has been maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and Dad was like making something, and Mom was trying to tell him how to make it, and Dad didn't agree with it. And he made some comment that wasn't like crazy. Like that's not who Dad is, like, that. Yeah. But it was like you could tell that he was like
dismissive.
Yeah, annoyed kind of thing. So Mom was like, okay, whatever. So she walked away. Not anything big. And I was kind of like, well, that's the most I've ever seen them disagree. But then the funny part is, for the next 4 hours, Dad was like, hey, do you need anything? Do you need anything? You need a coat? It's kind of cold outside. I'm like, oh, Dad.
Wow.
Like, way to admit you were wrong by your actions.
Instead of just saying sorry, yeah. I just, like, I had to teach. So Emily never really saw a whole lot of that either. And obviously I saw kind of to the other extreme, like,
right.
It was some crappy stuff. The other side, like, I have this, and I think this is just, it's because I'm a talker. If we're in a fight or we're in a disagreement, we are going to talk through it to its conclusion. We are not going to shut down. We are not going to move on to something else. It's like, no. Like, I don't care if we have to sit here all day, all night. We're going to talk about this. We're not going to... Because I used to just... Tell Meg I said hello. I used to just hold everything in, and then it's this explosion. And just like... Through the process of therapy and talking to mentors and stuff, I worked through that, myself. I just, like, I don't know, man. I forget exactly how old I was. It's honestly probably about 8 years ago that I really started shutting a lot of more people out, and I just don't get as high and as low as I used to be. Like, not like really. And I guess that's just a maturity thing. So I guess I was wrong when I told my wife I was never going to change, way back when. But I do remember there was a moment in my life where I just said, life is too short to be upset. And I'm just going to, like, any negativity, any drama, I'm just going to shut out, and I'm just going to move on. I just didn't want any part of it.
Dude, it's, like, crazy because, I agree with what you're saying. Like, holding on to stuff is just so crazy. And sometimes it's hard. Like, sometimes you have a bad day at work or, X, Y, Z. But, like, you graduated in 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was 14 years ago. So I graduated in 2007. So literally the people that are graduating this next year weren't even born when I was graduating. That's insane. Like how fast that's gone. And what you're saying is, like, to hold on to just small stuff is just it's not really, or have people in your life that are toxic that aren't leading you to end goals. So I get that. I do get that.
The only people that I'll still hate forever are Eastern Warrior basketball players. Hate every single one of you.
It's so fun. And just briefly, and then we'll get into, it's a good segue to sports, but like, when I was coaching, like, my first year, I was at Logan over in Hocking Hills. And that is Eastern Browns regional site, and they were going to be good that next year. So Kevin Pickrell, which is their coach, who I like, I don't have any ill intent. Like, he was like, "Hey, can we schedule next year?" Because they were going to be good enough to get there, and he wanted to get on the court. So I'm like, it's been like 10 years since I graduated. Like, sure, like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't have any Eastern Brown, whatever, dude. As soon as they walked through the door. I was like, I snapped.
You saw red.
Man, I can't. It's all red.
Did you beat them?
We beat them, and it's crazy that we beat them because the Day girl, Allison Day.
Yeah.
Okay, so she ended up going to, I think she went to Illinois Chicago first.
Yeah.
And then she transferred to Bowling Green. So she was on their team, and he played in a 1-2-2, and she was on the top, and then they had their two guards on the elbows.
Yep.
And so, but their two posts, weren't the most athletic. So he sent her from top to corner. So she covered corner, top, corner. So, which it's a lot of real estate to cover. So, I've always been big on, like, if you're taking shots confidently, I don't care, like, if they're confident. So, but that game, we had a rule that we had to pass the ball to the right corner, to the top of the key, to the left corner, to the top of the key again before we even started getting shots. So she always had to run that. Dude, by the third quarter, we started getting really open shots. And no credit to me whatsoever, but we hit like 17 threes that game. We hit 11 in a row in the second half. 11.
Oh, my God.
Which is insane.
Yeah,
like, even if you're sitting there wide open.
I don't know why he wouldn't adjust to that. That doesn't seem like
Well, the first half we weren't hitting the shots, so it didn't matter. You didn't have to adjust to that. So second half we started hitting them, and we beat them. So we ended up beating them, and we were their only loss until the state Final Four. We beat them, and then they didn't lose again until the state Final Four. They went 21-1. So but it's funny you say that. Like I know people from Eastern. I like people from Eastern a lot, but like
if you're putting on a court today,
game over. We're going. Who ingrained that in you?
Well, you know what? It wasn't actually, because I know what you're expecting is say your dad, but it wasn't like
And then Underwood reaffirmed it. Like, that's what happened with me.
Yeah, I think it was just like you're Georgetown, you hate Eastern, and I just kind of picked up on it, and I always enjoyed beating them. Like, I really enjoyed beating them. And it's so funny, like, I started playing pickup when you graduate, and it's like, I got along with all the guys from Ripley, got along with everybody, and it's like, if an Eastern guy walked through the gym, it's like, I hate you. I'm going to try to embarrass you. It's not enough to simply... I'm also, like, one of those sicko competitive people. It's like, I believe that Michael Jordan was right while the whole world calls him... Like, that's just my mentality.
So, Clark and Iowa yesterday fell to South Carolina. So, I'm going to touch on two things with yesterday and kind of the totality of what Clark is. So, the first one I'll say, like, did you see the ratings from yesterday?
17 million. I only saw it because you sent it to me. 18.
No, that was UConn the game before. They peaked at like 24 million, which was more than any sport had peaked since 2019, which is like including NBA. It does not include football or the Olympics, I will say that. But outside of football and the Olympics, it's higher than any basketball game, including NBA. So,
wild.
But it is wild. So what I'll say with that, and my point to that is, obviously, if it peaked at 18 million, there was a lot of first-time viewers to the women's game, right? Mm-hmm. Did you watch any of it? I mean, I don't care either way, but there was a lot of viewers that turned in to watch her. I mean, you know, South Carolina's good. UConn's been good since we were kids. I mean, they've been always been good, but they tuned in to watch her, and I've watched her for over 2 years now, and I will say she was solid all weekend. I'm not saying that she wasn't, but to what she's brought, like why people want to watch her, I would say she had 1/4 of that, of the 8 quarters that they played in the Final Four. Like, the first quarter against South Carolina, she had 18 points, which is just insane. So, my question to you, and I'll open it up to you, a lot of first-time viewers are watching the women's game to see these spectacular plays that she makes, and she did not make them 7 of the 8 quarters in the Final Four. So if that's your first time watching, do you give her another chance to say, okay, well, obviously the hype is there for something, or is it like one and done, you didn't prove it, so I'm back to the NBA or the men's game?
She will more than likely never have a bigger moment than she just had. And this is not a decree on her. It's just the state of the women's professional game. Frankly, a lot of women can go overseas and make more money in more popular leagues than the WNBA is. I will say this. I was getting, because I checked out some stats, and I knew South Carolina was going to win. They're way more athletic. I knew that was a thing. Like, I don't have to watch everything to kind of pick up some cues. You know what I mean? To have a decent idea. I just don't care about sports.
I mean, numbers don't lie. Like, but still, you see stuff with your eyes too. You have to be really in tune with it. You got to do both. But I agree, numbers are numbers for a reason.
Yeah, my thing, and this is my thought process behind it. I'm actually getting JJ Redick, Adam Morrison vibes from her. Yep. I think the pros, I don't think they're jealous. I think there's a lot of pros that see her deficiencies. And I don't know that she's going to be this incredible superstar that you would think that she would be on her way to being. I saw the previous record holder was at some conference thing and said, well, I did it with no three-point line and a men's ball.
Yeah.
And she's like, my record's not broken.
The women's game has never got this attention. So people that are viewing for the first time and they see her not play like this, okay, she's hitting logo threes every time down the court for 7 of the 8 quarters. And again, I'm a big fan of hers. I'm a big fan of the women's game in general. I think South Carolina was one of the best women's basketball team, if not the best women's basketball team I've ever seen. I think they're that good. I think Dawn Staley is, again, and we'll talk about this in the next, but I think Dawn Staley's as bright as there is basketball behind right now. So I think the women's game has a lot to offer. But again, I've been following it for 2 years. I'm saying people tuning in for the first time seeing this and saying, okay, this is supposed to be the face of your, women's basketball right now. I'm not impressed. And again, now she's to the WNBA. It'll be interesting to see where the numbers go from here.
Yeah, I always got, and I said this last week, I always got kid whose father was always the coach vibes. I don't know, man. Like, I think people see and compare her to Steph Curry, for example. I think Steph Curry is on such another level of what he does that that they might just be. I think there's not enough appreciation, frankly, to be even able to compare what she is doing to what he does there. Just because she's pulling up from slightly longer, I mean, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't. It just never captivated me. And once again, I try not to, view things through this mindset. But if I'm going to take my time to watch something, I am going to always gravitate toward the best. So I would,
well,
instead of going
like the NBA over men's college basketball anyway.
Yes, exactly. It's just why am I watching? Why would you ever go watch a Pee Wee game when you could go watch a high school game? It's just literally every step up. So no, I would literally rather. I've done a little bit of coaching. You've obviously coached for a while. The way we probably watch basketball is a lot different than how most people watch basketball too. And I think that goes into it. That's why I can't stand the college game, because the offenses are normally so stagnant. You can just tell the kids have never played together and stuff, and it's just It kills me. I can't watch it. I just can't. Why, if that South Carolina team is so good, why did it take Caitlin Clark to get them that much attention? Like, right. South Carolina, didn't they win it last year too?
Mm-mm. They've only lost one game in the last, and that was kind of the cool thing about her, Clark and Iowa's path.
Clark beat them.
Correct. So in the Elite Eight, they beat LSU, which they lost to in the finals.
Yeah.
And then they beat in the Final Four UConn, and Paige Beckers is their big name, and those two were like the two of the top recruits in that class.
Weren't they saying that Clark is lucky that she hasn't been healthy?
Correct. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of UConn faithful. And then, obviously, she plays South Carolina in the finals, who they beat in the Final Four the previous year. It's funny you say that because, like, a lot of past UConn, and again, UConn has been dominant in the women's basketball game for, 25 years. And they say, like, if Clark, because Clark talks about how she wasn't recruited.
Gonna go to you.
No, she wasn't recruited because they already got Beckers. So they didn't want another guard that played similar styles, which, again, is insane. But if Clark goes to UConn, a lot of UConn women, past players, have said, like Diana Taurasi, you know who that is, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
She has said, like Gino barely let me dribble the ball, let alone shoot like Clark does. So if Clark goes to UConn, this whole phenomenon never happens. So it happened exactly how it needed to grow this game, which is kind of incredible in itself that it did happen that way.
And that's what I mean, by the way, by a kid who's always been coached by her father. Right. That's what I felt like Iowa was. Like, she could do anything she wanted, have no wrongs. And I think, there's been a lot of examples, even in the men's game, where if you give them a high usage, like, somebody's going to score the points. And if it's the person taking all the shots and it's the person taking all the shots, I haven't looked into her, like, advanced analytics to see how efficient she is. I'm sure it's great because a lot of her shots are threes, and threes just are a better shot generally than most other shots. So it just didn't do anything for me. I never could get into it. I never could enjoy it. Maybe that says more negatively about me. And I'm willing to accept that.
But I think if you, for instance, let's say you did watch, okay? Let's say, I'm gonna give her a shot. I'm going to turn on the UConn game. And she drills, 3 logo threes. You're going to be like, okay, maybe I should be watching. But she didn't do that. So I think that the next step is so important to the women's game because do they follow her to the WNBA? Is she going to have as much success? You would think being around better players, she's going to get more open shots. So you would think her efficiency might rise.
Yeah, but at the same time,
everybody's a better defender.
Everybody's a better defender, and frankly, she's going to have better offensive players on her team. She's not going to have that greenest green light. The only way that you can do what she does is if you are by far the best player on your team.
And she was.
Iowa's
drop-off will be dramatic next year.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of my point is if she played for South Carolina, she'd start, but she wouldn't be breaking all the records.
Right, correct.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think I sadly think that there is a rude awakening coming for her at the next level. I think that it doesn't make any sense for all of the WNBA players to be talking so negatively about her unless they know something and see something. That's the way I look at it.
I see that with twofold though, because one, the women's game is getting more attention now than ever before, so they should be kind of on board with that. Okay, we're going to get more viewers, which could mean more money. If viewership is there, but at the same time, as a competitor, you don't like it. Think about when Lonzo Ball got into the NBA, right? And it was his dad's fault. I'm not saying it wasn't, but he got the rude awakening. Patrick Beverley
embarrassed him.
Yes.
And people went out of their way to embarrass him. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And it's kind of she's don't. I mean, her play is creating the target. It's not like she's insanely outspoken or anything like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess it's just people hating on greatness. I don't know. I wish there's part of me that wishes I'd watched a little bit, but I was thinking the same thing, by the way, that you were, which kind of factors my opinion because I was just checking the stats, and that day she had 40 against whoever. It was one of the last games. She went nuts.
It was LSU, I think.
LSU, yeah, because that was the big that was a huge game, and you had just been talking to me about how great she was, and she dropped 40. Well, I kept checking the scores, and I was like, "Oh, she didn't do as good that game." Oh, she didn't do as good that game, and
it's not fair for me to say she did play solid. Like, I'm not saying she didn't, but based on what number she's bringing in, she did not play up to that level. Is my point.
No, probably. I mean, the biggest thing you probably would think of when you think of that, it kind of reminds me of Larry Bird's Indiana State team going up against Magic and Michigan State, and they just weren't as good. And even Larry talks about it. He's like, "Yeah, I just didn't have my stuff that day. Missed free throws, missed stuff like that."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's crazy. But and we'll talk, and just staying on Clark, but this is going to elaborate a little bit. I mean, obviously, she's got all these records. I mean, she's got men's and women's records across the board. Again, it was a product of what she was able to do and where she went, but she does have all these records. But she never won a championship. So, of the GOAT, greatest of all time, the GOAT debate, is it fair to disclude her because she didn't win a championship when she has all these records?
100%. Yeah, it's not even like I think I would go as far as to say that she's not even in the conversation for women's college basketball. She's not even in the conversation. I go immediately to Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi's always been a huge fan, and then my second is another
Sue Bird.
And Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl Swoops, Cheryl Miller. Yeah. Cheryl Miller was good before the WNBA. Okay, so I kind of anticipated, because I know you, I kind of anticipated that's where you were going to go. So here's a list of other athletes who never won the top championship. So again, let me ask you this. If she goes on and wins 3 or 4 WNBA championships, does that change the conversation?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean...
So it's not just limited to college.
We've talked about this. The scoring is great. You know who is an amazing scorer who will never have a single conversation as one of the greatest players of all time? James Harden. He's never going to be in that air. He's never won anything.
Iverson.
Scored about as well as anybody ever has.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a list, and whenever you want me to break, you can, of other people who never won a championship. Charles Barkley.
Yep.
So I guess here's what we'll do. When I say somebody that you're like, okay, I could see where they could have a greatest of all time title without a championship.
Okay.
Charles Barkley.
No, he's not even a top 20 player, probably.
Barry Bonds.
That's one. To be fair, I do feel like baseball is uniquely, and you could say football too. You have to. I mean, you literally only have 4 chances a game probably to put points up on the board in baseball. I mean, your options are very limited. Like, he could hit 2 home runs every single game and still lose. It's very outside of his control.
I agree, but again, South Carolina had the better team than Iowa.
But I don't know that. But I don't know that I just say that Barry Bonds is the. I think
he's in the conversation.
Yeah. All right. He's in the conversation.
Ty Cobb.
No.
I shouldn't have put this when I was kind of just going through. Patrick Ewing.
No.
Ken Griffey Jr.
No. Although
really?
I think I would have.
Junior.
I think Junior healthy is maybe the greatest player to ever play the game.
No
if he so.
Tony Gonzalez.
Nope.
He's probably the greatest tight end of all time.
Nope. Gronk is the greatest tight end. I will fight people to the death on that. Prime Gronk. Remember, I'm a big your prime, on longevity versus prime. If you were, I always say, if Victor Wembanyama came into the league this year, averaged 100 points, 50 rebounds, that whole story, and then died, he'd still be the greatest basketball player to ever play. Yes. He's the Gordon Bombay of basketball.
Roy Halladay.
I don't even know who Roy Halladay is now. He's a pitcher, right? Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Karl Malone, John Stockton.
No.
John Stockton leads in assists and steals.
Means he's throwing it to one of the greatest scorers to ever score. It means nothing.
Dan Marino.
No, he doesn't get there. I mean, he's like one of the, he's one of the 10 best, one of the 5 best. Like Charles Barkley's one of the 20 best.
Where does the GOAT debate stop? Top 3? If you're saying Dan Marino's top 5 to 10.
So I think it depends on sport and stuff, and I say that because, there are about 3 or 4 people in basketball. I think it literally just depends on the actual people. I think Tom Brady has pretty much made his case as the greatest quarterback to ever play. So I mean, you can't look at Marino and look at him and look at 7 and 0 and say you can't compare it. And then there's other hills for him to climb. And now, is he maybe have one of the best arms, one of the most gifted passers? They say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has won one. So
long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
Long time ago.
2010? I was like, it's forever ago. But anyway, keep going.
Randy Moss.
Again, I never.
How many receivers?
It's so weird.
Jerry Rice? You're putting Jerry Rice over him.
So the thing is, no, but you probably don't. If I was just building a fantasy team, because you saw what happened to Brady the moment that Moss got there.
He exploded.
I can't believe he didn't win one with the Patriots, but I guess they lost.
They went undefeated, and your boy Eli.
I hate Eli so much. Anyway,
Barry Sanders.
No.
Danian Tomlinson.
No.
Mike Trout hasn't as of yet. And the one that I think is, and again, we're talking World Cup here. We're not talking.
Oh, Messi. Well,
Ronaldo.
Yeah, but he's not as good as Messi. He's not. So he's.
So if Messi didn't win this last one,
he would have been the only other. He would have been somebody that I still think you could have compared, and that to me is more of a time thing, because the soccer GOAT prior to him was Pele, and it's the 1950s. It's kind of like why Bill Russell gets kind of pushed to the side in these conversations, because it was so long ago, and the sport was so completely different. Yeah, there were 8 teams.
I just think it's crazy, because when you really think about it, okay, so I'm going to say sport. You say just gut reaction who the GOAT is. All right, football.
Tom Brady.
Agree. Basketball.
Michael Jordan.
Agree. Soccer.
Messi.
Agree. Baseball.
Babe Ruth.
Dude, and that is insane to me. Everybody else is 1990, 2000 and on. And Babe Ruth has this legend about him. And I don't know anything about him. I don't know how many home runs he has. I don't know how many strikeouts he has. But that is just consensual. The greatest baseball player that's ever lived. And I have no idea why that is.
Baseball people are more hardcore about tradition than almost any sport. The only other one that probably gets that close is golf. They love that it's a game that is spanned across time and stuff. And I think because there's every sport's different, man. And I think baseball It's weird.
But you don't
man.
think it's like, how many highlights have you seen of Babe Ruth?
Zero. Absolutely zero.
But you know that he pointed. You know that he pointed his home run out.
Listen, Sandlot taught me everything I needed to know. As like the go-to movie for kids of my generation growing up. I know everything about it. The Great Bambino!
I just think it's insane that you're like, okay, current. Oh, 1920s.
Yeah, but
that's insane.
I don't think it was the 20s, to be fair.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I'll look it up. Don't worry, I got you.
Babe Ruth.
I got you. You make your point. People want to hear you talk.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Well, okay. He finished in 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
He died in 48.
Yeah. I think the one thing... Wow, I mean, he never had a season where he had more than 60 home runs. Yeah, it's probably not Babe Ruth. It's probably...
But your gut decision says it is. That's what's crazy to me. It's like, why is Babe Ruth put on like this? Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I know he was a pitcher too, which like being able to do
he's like
both.
Showtime. If Showtime can continue this, like he could be considered that.
No, I 100%. And that's the thing is just like the next Babe Ruth is playing right now, and no one cares.
Well, he's a gambler.
I love it.
They were talking about this, and this is like I just kind of want to get your opinion on this. So what they're saying now is Showtime was like present for a lot of these gambling meetings, right?
Bravo.
But what they're saying, and again, this is
he really is the GOAT, by the way. Michael Jordan, degenerate gambler. This guy, degenerate gambler.
Okay, don't get ahead of me. So what they're saying now, and again, this will never be proven one way or the other because people are going to lie to keep themselves out of trouble. Yep. What they're saying, he doesn't speak a lick of English. Not
hard to believe.
So what they're saying is, his interpreter's saying like this is a business deal when he's talking to these like bookies. Yeah. So then he's talking to these bookies, and the bookies are like, "Are you sure that's what he wants like to put down?" And then he turns to Showtime and like makes up something, and Showtime like yeah, and has no idea. So like these face-to-face conversations happened, but the interpreter was in control of everything because Showtime couldn't speak English or the bookies couldn't, whatever. So like, if that's true.
I don't believe any of it. Not for a second. I bet he speaks perfectly fine English. I literally, there's no way at all ever he's. Yeah.
Dude, but as this goes forward now, that's going to be a big thing. Like these foreign players, whatever sport they're coming in on, they're coming in like the teams, the owners are going to start being concerned about these interpreters.
It's a dumb thing.
Whoever thought that was going to be a thing?
Yeah,
but now it is.
The man gambled, and the problem is that we have, for some reason, demonized it in this country. Like, I'm all for just like total freedom. Do whatever you basically want to do. If that guy wants to,
you want the Wild West. Is what you're saying.
If that guy wants to gamble $50 million on a horse and just go for it, let him. Like you have the freedom to do it. He has, frankly, and it's like Michael Jordan used to say. It's like, I don't have a problem. I'm super rich. Like, it's the most arrogant interview I've ever seen in my life, and that's something
Pete
that
Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, without a question. Are you kidding me?
I agree.
The thing is, it's gonna
because he never bet against the Reds. He never bet against the Reds.
Has he passed away yet?
No, but I agree. They're going to put him in when he does.
And after he passes away. And it's like, why are you going to do that? Like, you literally, if you wanted to really hurt Pete Rose, put him in the Hall of Fame while he's still alive, because it'll kill him. Because he'll be in shock. Like, it is a shame. Like, there's, I
don't know how true this was, but I think I saw something that Pete Rose released just a one sentence that was like, it was my interpreter too, or something like that.
That's hilarious. He's like, I had Japanese bookies. I couldn't speak a word of Japanese.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we'll see. We'll see.
Dude,
All right, so
I heard a fantastic Pete Rose story where he was gambling at the racetracks and a deer ran out and took out the horse. And he was like, "It's
he had
the
money
worst." Yeah, he's like, "It's the worst beat I've ever seen in my life." Just a deer just come out and just tackles a horse.
you can't gamble on that. You can't expect that when you're gambling.
No, that was not built into the odds.
That's just a bad beat.
I have so much money on so many bets for the Masters.
Sure you do. We'll get to that.
I have 27 mortgages on my Master bets.
Okay, well, good. We'll get to that. First, we'll hit just briefly. Calipari is out at Kentucky. People wanted his head this time around. I see you smiling. People wanted his head this time around. But Kentucky wasn't going to make that move. So does Calipari make this move because he knew if he didn't win next season, like he's gone. He is getting fired. So did he beat Kentucky to the punch? Is that what he did?
I actually think that this has to be for him. Something has to be happening that we don't know, and I think it has to concern NIL. Like, literally, maybe Arkansas is ready to give a better NIL type of deal than Kentucky. Like, is Kentucky lacking on that in some way, shape, or form? That has to play into it because, frankly, as a coach right now, like the school, 95% of your ability as a recruiter probably has to come from how much NIL deals and money and all that stuff and control you're going to be able to have. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, if Kentucky, for some reason whatsoever, is we're not giving full freedom, you have $10 million, and Arkansas is over here with 50.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anybody can just buy their way into the game now. And you not only buy your way in with the coach, but you buy your way in with the players. And I think you could see, this used to happen a lot. Things like this used to happen a lot more. You watch a lot of sports documentaries, and I think of the one on SMU. They were really big in the 80s in their football, and then they got penalized basically out of existence. They were just
I forget what that's called.
Paying everybody everything. You know what I mean? And I think you're going to see that, and it's gonna be all done legally through NIL.
The death penalty. The 1987 death penalty, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think you are going to see more things like that now, and eventually it's just going to become a bidding war where the schools that really care about that eventually pony up. And I don't know, I think you could see a powerhouse like Duke, because it is a smaller school, fade away. Now, they do have a lot of very famous clientele and alumni and athletes and stuff like that, but I think you're really going to see it's going to become so NIL based. I heard there was a kid on Kentucky, and this kind of counteracts my part, who's making $6 million this year in NIL deals. The Shepherd kid or what? It's just Victor Wembanyama is getting paid 12, and he's playing twice as many games. And he's in a professional league. I understand and I believe that players should be paid, but we have to come up with some kind of better system than this. I personally think it's you should just be able to go pro.
Well, it's where does it stop? Because now Caleb Williams, and I don't know how much this is true because there's just so much media attention on it, but it's his dad is demanding part ownership in whatever team drafts him.
Yeah, it's player empowerment.
And where does that come from? Because they're making so much money in college.
In my opinion, has actually gotten out of control. When you have guys in the NBA who sign a 5-year deal and then 6 months later are asking for a trade, and somehow it looks bad on the team if they don't give in to that demand. You're not very player friendly and players don't want to go to you. That blows my mind. The lack of accountability. And it's something generally for us as a society. There are no consequences to your actions. And once again, hey, I'm going to sign 5-year, $200 million deal. Like
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. You're not a football player. It's absolutely.
Do you remember it might be before this, maybe you'll know, but the first one I remember, who's the first one you remember, like, we're not going to play for you?
Funny enough, and I just happen to remember, I wasn't really aware of it at the time, but I know the first one that I can think of, when I was alive, because obviously, Dan Marino and it was John Elway did it way back in the day. I think it was John Elway, and then it was Eli and Phillip Rivers.
Eli, because the Chargers wanted to draft him, and they didn't want to go there.
And he said, I'm not going. And I think, and to be fair, I think that's a part of the system that is actually anti-player that I'm kind of against. Because if you are the best at what you do in the world, like let's say you're the best podcaster, right? You get to go choose who you want to partner with or whatever. You're the best doctor. You get to pick what hospital you want to go to. These guys don't have that option. And that sucks. Because, I mean,
it's funny you say that because, like, again, what you're saying is, like, and not that that's why he did it. Eli didn't do it for geographical reasons, but, like, for you, like, they said, we want to relocate you to, Portland, Oregon or something like that. Not that Portland, Oregon's bad, but, like, if you didn't want to go there, you wouldn't go there. And the world of professional sports is so hung on, like, you got drafted by a team, that's where you need to go. Well, what if they don't want to live in Chicago, Illinois? What if they would rather live in Miami?
LeBron.
Florida?
Yeah, so,
exactly.
Like,
it's insane that people are so hung up on, like, you have to go there. Like, that's where you have to go. I understand, like, okay, the draft, like, the draft picks and XYZ, I understand all that. But, like, it's the only profession that I can think of that you are literally tied in to where you live based on, like, out of your control who picks you.
The draft and league minimum, and once again, I'm all for a just openly capitalist society, and if you're an owner of a team that can't pony up like the other owners, then too bad on you in some way, shape, or form. Oh, yeah, but I mean, look at, like, people adapt. The Yankees haven't won in a long time, I'm pretty sure, for as little as I pay attention to baseball. You know what I mean? Like, they're not winning championships every year like they did. Like, those things come and go.
Big three.
But no, think about it this way. You're going to have, because people miss all the time, if they had it to where all these guys just went into free agency, basically, and that was the draft, how many number one picks have been busts? And to get that number one pick to come to Cleveland or wherever, you're going to have to pay more. You're going to, like, offer a guy $60 million for a deal. Things would get out of control very, very quickly. But at the same time, like, I'm pretty sure the guy who owns the Timberwolves, because, like, they're backing out of that deal. I don't know if you saw that. Like, A-Rod and somebody else was trying to buy the Timberwolves, and then, like, he's like, yeah, you didn't make the payments or something. So it's a weird situation. But my point is, like, that guy's one of the cheapest owners in the league, and it's like, well, now you have Anthony Edwards, and this kid's probably the best American under 30 basketball player that we have, and it's like it's time for you to pay the luxury tax, and whether he does that, it's the same thing. It's the reason they were so glad when the guy in Phoenix got in trouble. He's never ever he's the cheapest guy in the entire league.
How do you stay a billionaire, Logan?
I guess
you don't spend money.
That's why I'm gonna go broke real soon.
All right, let's roll. Masters, baby. So going into this weekend, we got Scotty at plus 500, Rory at 1,000, John Rahm at 1,300, and Brooks, Koepka, and Jordan Spieth both at 2,100. Are any of the top 5 your winners?
I don't know about winners. So I'm shorting the Live guys this year. They performed very well last year, sadly for me, because I'm not a Live guy. And so I'll be honest, like, my favorite player probably right now is Koepka. I really like Koepka a lot. but I'm shorting him. I'm shorting Rahm. Scheffler has the best chance out of everybody, but the problem is can Scheffler putt? Because if he putts like he did at the Players, then he is better tee to green than everyone else in the world. It literally comes down to putting. What I'm hearing is the course is very, very, very firm already and very fast. I watched a video of some speed of green stuff, and the difference between a downhill putt and an uphill putt is, and they have those step meters where they let the ball go so it gets the same speed. One downhill rolled 35 feet, uphill rolled 4.
Dude, for somebody like me, and I don't know how much, again, of our 2 viewers golf. But somebody like me golfing like that, the way I can compare it, and Dad and I have talked about this, is like, let's go out to concrete and try to putt. Like, to me, that's what that would be like.
So the interesting thing, and this is what I was hearing, I was listening to Xander Schauffele do his Masters interview. I get totally sucked in. I listen to every sound bite. I will watch all the practice rounds. I watch everything. Schauffele said that he hit a 5-iron into a green on a par 5, and it bounced across like concrete. When stuff like that happens, it's going to be very experienced, great iron strikers are really going to make the difference. Either that, or you have to be very, very good driving the ball and long, so that you can have.
Is that because, if I may, is that because these iron people, they have to be precise of where they're putting it on the green?
Yeah, or correct? even before. And then when I say the longer hitters will have an advantage, is because they're going to be able to get clubs in their hand that give them more loft and more stopping power going into the green. So, and they've changed a few tee boxes over the last few years. One of my big bets, I always do a big parlay and try to get like 7 guys who I all think will finish in the top 20.
Okay.
Hot take here. I actually think that a course like this, funny enough, is set up for Tiger Woods to be very successful. I think his maturity was the number one reason that he won in 2019. I think this is the healthiest he's been. He was really rusty the last time he came out. I cannot imagine that he is not. I once watched him say that he hits the week of a tournament, the weeks leading up, he touches a club and a ball 1,000 times a day. I think if he's going to perform, I just think he knows the course so well. Like that's something that I think people who don't golf don't know as well. I've played Buttermilk so many times. It's right there. It's cheap. It's easy. Great atmosphere. It's there. I could tell you almost to a T how every single putt that I'm going to hit before I ever get out of the cart, how it's going to break. Because I know no, not at all. I'm a terrible putter. Even it's the depressing thing about me is when I was a good golfer, when I was hitting the ball really well, I couldn't putt. And now I've learned how to putt a little bit, but I can't hit the ball like I was. And if I could have put those two people together, I probably would have been really close to a scratch. It was like two years ago or something. But no, I couldn't putt at all. Killed me. Anyway, I like Xander Schauffele inside the top 20 because he always gets close and never finishes, but that's fine. I don't like Rory. I hate that too because I want Rory to win.
You think Rory's outside top 20?
So I'm a huge Rory fan. I want Rory to win. I think he chokes in these moments so much. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I think if he makes the top 20, it'll be because he barely makes the cut, and then the last 2 days shoots incredibly low scores to get up, but never actually has a chance to win. But yeah, I'm really shorting the live guys. Normally I would think Rahm and Koepka. I think there's going to be a time, and I think this is the year where their difference in play is really going to show up. And I think the longer they're outside the PGA Tour, that's going to show up. And I what has Koepka been doing? Where has he been playing? That kind of stuff. He's not playing in the biggest events, and now we're 2 years removed from everything. And look, he was in contention last year, and he was on Live, so I could be totally wrong. But I keep waiting for the shoe to drop on that at some point. But it's like last year didn't make sense. It's like Phil Mickelson came out of nowhere. Sergio had a really good performance. It was almost like those Live guys were playing for something more than even just the Masters, which is already a huge thing in and of itself. But no, I'll have a 7-way. I like guys like Cameron Young. It should set up well for Spieth, but I've just never felt like Spieth can get over that hump. I feel like Thomas is fading into mediocrity. I don't know. I think he's
way down on the odds.
I think it's one of those years where a very lesser known name guy is going to win.
All right, here's a couple. And not a gambler like you are, but here's a couple sleeper picks that I read that I wanted to kind of get your opinion on. And this isn't really sleeper. He's at 2,200.
Can you still see me?
Nope.
Son of a gun. Sorry, I was going to jump onto my DraftKings, and no, I would not. I'm not for Hideki.
Okay. At 3,200, Cameron Smith.
Nope, he's a Live guy, but the course is set up for him because he is a short game and iron guy. Like, he should be on that level, and I'm just shorting the Live guys. Just a general rule this year.
All right, and the last one, plus 16,000, Tiger.
Like I said, what are his odds? Can you see what his odds are to make 16, the top 20?
Oh, no.
No, to make the top 20.
I'll see if I can do it.
Am I upside down?
What?
I've really taken this off the rails. Sorry.
There you have. What?
I had to plug my phone.
No, I wouldn't be able to find it. So, how many units would you put on Tiger Woods to win?
To win?
For our fellow audience that are like, wow, Logan's a smart guy. How many units? How many units would you put on him? Top 10, top 5 to win?
Listen, I think you could make a good bet at top 20. I actually really like that. I don't know why. I have a feeling that he's going to perform. I can't tell you why. When I heard today that they talked about how hard, so there's a great, one of Tiger's greatest moments ever is, I think, the 2000 or 2001 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. And they talk about the fact that he likes when the courses get harder and it separates everybody. Anybody can play when the weather's good, but when everything goes wrong, he can outthink people. And I think he's going to think his way around this course, especially if it's as hard as it is. Now, if there's any rain in the forecast, which there might be, and everything gets softer, then a Scotty Scheffler could very quickly run away with this. But man, if it just stays dry, I think you're going to see some weird names up toward the top, because you're going to have to really place the ball well and think the game through. So what would I like? Me, I'm an idiot. I have 7 different people to finish inside the top 20 parlay for like $100 that wins like 50 grand. So those are the type of bets that I like to take. If you don't want to bet $100, that's I like. But I put a 5. I definitely put a 5 on Tiger to finish inside the top 20.
All right, non-gambling, because A, I don't. B, I'm not even allowed to. Just FYI.
You're not allowed to gamble?
No, NCAA is if they have a champion, then you're not allowed to. So I'm not anything that doesn't have a champion. I could bet horses. I could go to dog track and bet dogs. But even though I'm coaching basketball, I can't bet tennis because
I could never be a coach. Could never be a coach, apparently.
Well, that's not
apparently
high
that's
school.
just what that
It's
meant.
just college.
No, I mean, I could never, I have this dream that the college is going to come ask me one day, and it's just, I'd have to tell them no. Logan, we're willing to give you millions of dollars, just don't gamble. It's like,
that
sorry,
I can't win on gambling? No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's, this is a little added to the draft. Let's take 3 golfers.
Okay.
Just a friendly bet. And let's try to pick the winner between me and you. So you get 3 golfers, I get 3 golfers.
You want to go first?
I'm going to take Scotty. I'm going to take the favorite. Is what I'm going to take.
I'm going to take... So do I get 2?
Yep. We'll snake it.
I'll take Tiger.
And...
Yeah, well, I just wanted him off the board. And...
I was going to take him.
Give me 1 moment.
You want odds?
Nope. Alright. Give me... Where is he? Give me Wyndham Clark.
Alright.
I'm putting some very serious thought into this.
Alright, I'm going to take Spieth, because I feel like he's always... A lot of times he's in the big ones. He's in the majors a lot of time. And I'm going to take... I don't want to take Rory. I'm going to take... Do I want to take DJ?
That's a terrible pick. You want to talk about somebody who went to live, got the money, and just stopped.
I'm going to take Cantley.
I'm taking Cameron Young.
Cam Young. All right, so I got Scotty Jordan and Patrick Cantley. You got Wyndham Clark, Tiger, and Cameron Young. We'll see. Next week, next podcast, we'll have who gets bragging rights and who doesn't.
If I had to pick who I would like to win besides Tiger, I think it would be Rory. I want live golf to fail so badly, or to. I just need all the best players playing in the world all together again. Like it bothers me.
They do in the majors.
Yep, and this is the major for me. Like, I have tickets to the PGA Championship because it's in Louisville this year, and I'm really excited to go. But like, it just seems like a golf tournament compared to the Masters.
Dude, what I will say, just like Caitlin Clark bringing in the viewers, if Tiger's in the hunt on Sunday, people are tuning in.
The world will lose its mind.
His red polo is on Sunday.
He's done with Nike. He's got the new clothing company, Sunday Red. That's what it's called. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough sports for the night. We'll skip some of the stuff that we had planned, but we've been going at it.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll into...
You're going to have fun editing this.
Some of the fun stuff that we have planned here. So we have... First, let's start with you guessing the top 10. Like last week, you guessed Adam Sandler movies.
Oh. Yeah, your thing's blurry.
There you go. This week is... Thank you. This week is... You're going to love it. Julia Roberts, top box office. I'll give you one. It's Pretty Woman.
Why are you doing this? Like, this is... Okay. I knew you were messing with me. Like, it's like you couldn't...
You said, why are you doing this? You want us to fail?
I could have taken my best guess at it. Would have made really, really interesting radio.
There's no way I would do that. Okay. 9. There's 9. Now, there's one of them that...
Wait, you're actually making me guess this?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying what you're getting ready to guess. There's 9. There's 10.
Okay.
I just 1, 2, 3.
All right.
There's 10. But there's 3 of them that are a subcategory of the big category.
Okay.
Top 10 Kathy stories of Logan.
All right. I'm really excited for this.
In no particular order. She didn't give me an order. She just gave me the 10.
Oh, gosh. I wish I could rank them.
Dude, I asked her if she wanted to be on it. She, Mom, she's
There's
nice
no
enough to
way.
say yes.
She would have said no.
She's nice enough to say it, but I just... Here's what I think. Here's why I honestly decided, okay, Mom doesn't need to be on this. A, because we're idiots, and we don't need to be embarrassing Mom.
Uh-huh.
B, her laughing at these stories would literally take...
And we would be here an hour. Yep, I was literally thinking the same thing.
We would never get through this segment. So we'll touch on the stories a little bit, but with her in it, you two talking about the story would never got through. All right.
It would have been. We could have had that been an entire podcast.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll give detail and context, I guess, is what I'm here to do.
If they're in there, you don't give random context of a story. All right. So top 10, no particular order. Let's go with it. We'll add context when needed.
Oh wait, I have to try to guess them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Without a doubt, slipping and falling on the ice.
That is one of them, correct.
There's probably three. The three that you're talking about, the subcategory, are all probably from Florida.
Very good.
Yeah.
Let me highlight these as you get them.
Okay.
So this is one. Florida's one, but there's 3 subcategories in it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I have to. Yeah. So the 3 Florida are, one is the man boobs, where I
correct,
gained.
the bathroom.
Yep. In the bathroom. That's a really good one. So we're sitting there eating at a restaurant, and full transparency, I need everybody to understand this. The first time I took my ACT, I fell asleep during a section.
What section?
Science. So I fell asleep, did not complete most of it.
Most?
Anyway.
Any of it.
Not a whole lot.
I hope any of it.
Anyway, so I tell Kathy what I got on the science portion. We're talking about like a bad score, and I was like, "You think that's bad? I got an 8." And she's like waiting for me to say like 18 or something like that, and the silence is just deafening, and she lost her mind. She cried and cried. No, there was a basketball player at Bethel who woke me up before we how they would get you
was
like
it Scalzo?
No, it wasn't. It was he was another big guy though. I think he was a different grade, but yeah, he woke me up and was like, "Hey, like we're doing stuff." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Well, you're only going to get an 8, man. Go with it.
Yeah. He was the reason I got an 8. I had a 0, and I rushed through and did some stuff. So I did much better the second time around. Couldn't actually tell you what that number is, but
at least a 9.
At least a 9, probably
9.
a 10.
So I got double digits. So the ACT was its own entity. Like that was too
that's
good
not
just
even
to,
in the Florida?
Yeah. That was too good to put in just Florida.
So there's two other
more.
Florida parts then. Tim looking for my bag. Yes! Yes! I can't believe that just came to me.
Dude, what happened? I've only heard bits and pieces of
Are
this
we
story.
recording
so
still?
happened? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we are. Sorry, my timer was gone. So, like, I don't know that I'd ever traveled by myself, but I land, I get there, and I'm, like, looking for my bag, and it had to have gone around 200 times, and your dad's like, "Logan, like, find your damn bag. Like, what is going on here?" And he's like, "You're not a small child. Like, you figure out your own bag." And I was like, "Well, there was this thing that my mom put on it so that I could find it easier." And your dad just like lost his mind. It's just like a red tag or something like that. He's like, "I've seen that red tag go around 70 times." And it's like your mom thought it was the funniest thing that she'd ever seen. Your dad was like genuinely frustrated. I always feel so bad. I was just like, "I'm just stupid, guys. Like, I don't know what you want from me." Like,
the fact that there's like a bright red tag.
Yeah. And I never mentioned it until it went around 30 times. And for some reason, I didn't see the tag. Like, I was just...
It was supposed to be easier to find.
Yeah, it didn't help at all.
Gosh,
yeah, man, now this is gonna, like, upset me because, like, I had such a good time, and I want to say it was, like, the nightclub thing, but I don't know that she would have put that, yeah. Now, what is... Okay, I need to know what the other Florida one is.
It has to do with a photograph.
Oh, yeah, the crocodiles, the alligators.
Alligators,
yeah.
So what happened?
The
I don't know
alligators.
that story either.
So, like, you know, we went to this place, and there's literally, like, 100 real alligators right behind us. They were feeding them and stuff like that. And one of the... and, dude, I'm in, like, it was just that point in my life. I was in those Adidas memory foam slides.
Oh, love
Like, I don't know if... Yeah, love them. One of the people, like, there was a gator, like, in the bushes, and, like, one of the guys with the sticks was, like, over there making sure, and he, like, rustled the bushes, and me and Jess, dude, like, literally were ready, because we're behind a fence. We were, like, I was ready to somersault over the fence. Like, there's a great picture of me and Jess both doing like that with 300 alligators right behind us. I mean, talk about times we should have died. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're so much faster than we are. You have to go in on a straight line. Like, it wouldn't have mattered. And Jess is faster than me, so I'm dead. Like, they're getting me. Like, they're eating me while Jess escapes.
I've always thought about that, like, because Megan and I saw a mama bear and her 3 cubs in Smoky Mountains, which was unbelievable, right? And then I always, like what you just said, I'm like, well, there's, like, old men and women and young children that I'm faster than. Like, I don't have any...
Mm-hmm.
But... if that mama bear sees me as the threat, it doesn't matter how many people are around. She's coming after me. That's who she's going after. Yeah. So maybe they saw Jess as the threat and you were good.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I would have rather him die than me die. I mean, you know, I'm just going to say it very selfishly.
Who else is going to change the 8 diapers?
Exactly.
Jess ain't going to do it.
No. I bet Jess has changed at least 10 diapers. I bet
let's put this out on the air right now.
Yeah.
Jess just welcomed.
Yep.
Him and Cass just welcomed their 3rd child.
Yep. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Daddy Jess.
Yep.
In that marriage, Jess and Cass, who do we think has changed more diapers?
Oh, it's definitely Cass. The nurse thing. No, it's definitely Cass. It's 100%.
But you got to think of who Jess is. Jess goes over and beyond because he's a great husband.
Listen, I get that.
You rest up. I got this diaper.
She's a NICU. She's a previous NICU nurse.
I understand that.
Dude,
I'm not faulting her. I'm saying what Jess's mindset.
No,
is.
I hear you, and I think Jess's way of going above and beyond is going to actually be to distract the older 2 as much as humanly possible, and leave her
I'm not
there
saying
to do
in the
her
last
thing.
week. I'm saying totality of all 3 kids.
Oh, I'm still going Cass.
Disagree.
Okay,
I think it's probably close. I think it's like a 55-45.
So
I think it's Jess.
You are also assuming that. Well, once again, you got to think about this, man. Jess probably didn't have as much paternity time as Cass. So
Correct.
literally, she is with the children more than Jess. So I mean, I think you're wrong.
But
here.
when they were doing the travel nursing, she was one working. He was remote at that time.
That is it. Now that's a good point. You're not wrong. I mean, we could ask the question: do we phone a friend? Do we find out if he's done more than 8? No, we don't need to. Yeah, Jess.
Has he done more than 8? No, he's not you. He hasn't done that many.
It takes a special person to only. I actually am really curious. I would love to ask Emily because it might not be 5. Yeah, well.
Oh, dude, when I was getting ready to go to college, Mom was teaching me how to do laundry because I didn't do laundry in high school, and she was teaching me how to do laundry, and like Dad was yelling from the TV room, like making fun of me, like blah, blah, blah. Like you don't know how to do that, like blah blah.
And Mom was Kathy was probably like, you haven't done laundry. And...
Yeah, she's like, Tim, how many loads of laundry have you ever done in your life? And then it was like silent, and we thought he was just like he got put in his place, so it was like whatever.
Yeah.
So Mom continues to explain. Like 45 seconds later, you hear 6. Dude, I lost it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, so you got the Florida. Let's roll.
So, man, definitely this isn't like, it wasn't funny in the moment, but her looking at me, stopping from yelling at the ref.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Wow.
Got the mom.
You just said something to me actually that made me think of one, and it was your dad. Son of a gun. Oh, when we moved into the apartment and I flooded the dishwasher with bubbles.
Dude, that would be a me thing, and now I completely forgot.
Yeah, I forgot about that till you just said it. I put hand soap in the dishwasher as the first time
instead of dish soap. Dude, I appreciate the try. I did.
Yeah,
but I walk out into the kitchen and there's just bubbles everywhere.
Yeah. That was like the first day we were all together too. It was literally like, I'm here. And instantly you and Heather had to be like, this is why. What did we do? This is a terrible mistake.
Dude, we didn't take enough advantage of... Because Heather was such a good roommate. She was such a good roommate.
Oh, yeah. Those days should have been much better.
Looking back at that, I should have. And Heather, if you ever happen to see this, I apologize. I should have given her the master so she had her own bathroom. And you and I should have shared.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. That was a little weird. Like, remember, I was really awkward around females for a long, long, long time. I didn't really come into my own till about 19. So, yeah, that was a.
Heather, I apologize. I really do. It was my fault.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know that I'm going to be able to guess as many of these as I think, and I'm kind of depressed about it, but.
You got 4.
I've got 4 total.
Yeah, I mean 7 with the added Florida bonuses, but 4.
I don't know. She probably didn't find when we were seniors.
Now I will say that these aren't necessarily all humor. It's just her favorite memories of it.
Oh well, definitely my wife. Talking me up by the campfire. That's one of them, right?
I completely forgot about that. Dude, Emily was so... Like, read the room, Emily. Read the room.
Alright, I'll tell the story. Alright, so... I've been around, as we've talked about your parents in the past, they're amazing parents, and I would say very conservative with what they share with their children. And yes. I would say Leslie and Roland to a lesser degree, but they also are as well.
Cut from the same cloth.
Different
year, same cloth.
So my wife is going to meet basically my other set of parents, the other people that raised me.
With me and Calvin.
And was Jess there or no? I don't even remember.
No, it's just me and Calvin, Mom, Dad, Les, and Roe. And then you and your newly engaged.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had been around. We this is a big moment in a relationship, frankly. This is because you guys probably hadn't spent that much time around her yet. So it was a very big, it's like, hey, you're meeting my best childhood friends and people that mean something to me. So you're playing some kind of game with her. Get like the 3 reasons that she's marrying me.
I think it was like the top 5, but she could only... No, she wrote them down. Or she had them in her head. And me and Calvin were trying to guess. It might have even been all 6 of us trying to guess. But we could only miss 3.
Yeah,
so we had to guess 5, but we could only miss 3.
Like, I couldn't tell you what the other 2 reasons that she was going to marry me were.
Dude, I don't remember. I remember we got 4, and we had missed 2, and I was... it was either I got it or not.
Yeah, you missed it.
Yeah, and I said, because you think he's going to be a great husband and father. That was word for word my answer.
She never considered that. She never considered that last part. Yeah, yeah.
She's like, okay, I'll set it up. She's like, nope. And then we're like, oh, we lost, blah, blah. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, what's the reason?
And this is where I have to be delicate. Once again, with no hesitation, did she say this. Because I am...
That made it so much worse.
Oh, her exact words, if you edit it out, it gets edited out. Her exact words were, I died. I saw your mother's face. You, fell on the ground. You could tell they wanted to laugh, but would not allow themselves to laugh.
They can't, dude. It's not who they are. It's not who they are.
And I literally just remember standing up and going time for us to go. I was like, I died in that moment, and and so that's my wife.
I remember me and Calvin were literally leaning on
crying.
each other,
Crying,
not to fall on the ground.
Yeah, it was a moment.
No,
but she didn't say that. If that's not on there, so if they're not humor based, that's the.
You want some clues?
No, I'm honestly, because I love your mother so much, I just want to be genuinely surprised. So let me just feed them to me so I can just feel this beautiful back and forth here. Because if they're not humor based, then I'm gonna be.
This
I'm
one's
gonna
semi-humor based.
Go ahead.
The morning of your wedding.
Oh yeah, having to get the limo pulled out by a tractor, getting a black eye the night before with Jess. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great one.
And there's been some discrepancy on this one on how this conversation actually went. But your dad telling you that you don't have a chance to play college basketball.
I don't.
I will tell you how Mom tells it.
Go ahead, because I don't know that I
don't think that you think it's the same way, but I don't know if you delivered it elaborate.
Oh, I was probably delivering it like it's funny. It's my guess.
So the story goes is you and your dad were talking basketball one day, and you were young, pee-wee, maybe junior high, and you were like, Dad, do you think if I practice really, really hard and really dedicate my life to basketball, do you think I can play college basketball? And Timmy was like, no, son.
It does sound like something Dad would do, but I don't remember that story at all. But I understand why Kathy would think that's the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, she loves it.
Especially knowing my dad.
Yeah, he's not one to hide.
My dad makes that character. My dad makes that character. I remember I played my best. I remember I played my best high school game ever, and I was really excited. And all he did was tell me all the things I did wrong. I'll never forget. He's like, no, you played good, but you could have done all this. And I was like, okay, cool.
Dude, he was a big supporter during our run. Huge supporter.
Oh yeah. He was
front row all the time. Him and Doug Turner
and David getting thrown out of games all the time, man. That was what
keep the rest
he got
honest.
thrown out at Eastern, and before the game even started, my sophomore year, I think.
Gotta let him know.
And it was for the varsity. It wasn't even for you. He got thrown out of one of my JV games. Then it had to be freshman. Oh okay. No! Because it was when Mark was a senior. That was what it was. All right, give me another story.
This one kind of ties into the same. You wanted to get a particular softball player some playing time.
Skip. The story is... You want to talk about a story that has been so incredibly... I won't talk about this. I won't finish this podcast if this gets put up. This story has been overblown to the highest degree. Insane. Just this is not even a story, but this is how your family makes this story a story. I won't dignify any other.
I don't say anything.
Oh, it's Jess and it's your dad and it's they literally they just take. It's the perfect thing if you give them a crumb and they'll make a cake. They'll go a mile. It's not even a story. It's not true. It's not real. Nothing about it is the most fabricated piece of thing on here. I won't continue the conversation.
But that's a great clip.
It's pretty funny.
All right, one from your elementary basketball. Not necessarily a particular story, just how she remembers you.
Is it my goggles? Yeah.
Your
I had the Rec Specs, man. Oh yeah. How terrible are my parents? Like, how terrible is my mom to let me walk out with the wristbands on? Like the Rec Specs, I have to see.
Gotta see.
Yeah, I have to see it. I didn't have contacts yet and stuff, but yeah, I was and one street ball was a big thing, and I remember all the it should have just wore sleeves.
Dude, I asked Mom to get me a picture, and she couldn't find one because they just moved.
Oh, they exist. They exist. I'm pretty sure. I was
going to flash that up right now, but I don't have it.
I mean, I'll send you a picture.
We'll revisit
I've got a Rec Specs picture.
All right, and the last thing is sentimental, so don't start crying on me. So she says one of her favorite things about you growing up was the fact that you were a bonus son, that she loved you like a bonus son. Don't do it, Logan. Don't do it. No,
I'm not even joking. I had to. I love that woman so much. Kathy, if you see this, if Jay clips this out, just know that you were my bonus mom, and I love you. So
there you go. So there you go. A good top 10 there.
Yeah, that was a good way to end it. I'm gonna go have a good cry.
All right, so we have.
I hope you're proud.
We have the draft. We have a draft, and the draft is fun. I think the draft is fun. I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
I'll give you a choice of what you want to go, and then I'll tell the story of the day.
Okay.
The draft can either be Disney songs or Disney movies.
Oh gosh, this is a fun game.
And we can do the other one next week if you're really into both of them.
So,
well, let's do
Disney
tonight.
Movies. They have to be animated.
Pixar animated or animated?
Pixar animated. Anything that is under the Disney umbrella that is animated.
Okay. So, the story of the day. Pauly Shore. You know who Pauly Shore is, obviously.
Oh, God.
So he owns this nightclub. Not nightclub, comedy club.
How do you find this? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go.
It's because I like my job. I like what we're doing, so I want to make sure I'm prepared.
Okay.
So a club he owns had an altercation a couple weeks ago, and the I'm going to say his name wrong, but a comedian was performing. His name was Elliot Prescotti, something like that.
Something, yeah.
Something up and comer we don't know. Okay, so that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is he gets thrown out for whatever reason of this comedy club after he's been performing. Okay?
Okay.
And he didn't pay his bill. So he gets thrown out, didn't pay his bill. So the bouncer, literally throws him out of the comedy club, whatever it's called. To the point where this guy, falls face down in the streets. And the dude starts beating him, back of his head, face down in concrete. Not
this guy's dead.
Yeah, correct. That's the way to kill somebody. So other bouncers are trying to pull him off, but he throws one last punch, and he yells when he throws this punch, and he yells, "This one's for Polly."
What the hell?
It's like a movie stupid thing to say when you're throwing a punch.
That's the dumbest.
This one's for my mom. Why would you yell, "This one's for Polly"?
This one, all he's missing is like, Polly want a cracker.
Yeah, exactly. Like stupid you gotta be.
Like literally, yeah. Okay. I want you to know that I'm gonna get so much flack for this list because, but I'm going to stick to what are my favorites. Like very, very, very much so. I'm. You know what? This list infinitely better than whatever crappy list you had the other day.
Candy bars was great, by the way.
Candy bars wasn't bad. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's. So, are you going first, or am I going first?
The Purdue game is probably ended. So, do you want to do even or odd there?
Even.
60 to 75. Odd.
Okay, you're up. Or you can decide if you want to go first or second.
No, I definitely want to go first.
Okay.
And I think the first one, number one pick, easy in my mind. Lion King.
Yeah, see, it wouldn't even make my top 10.
What?
Yep.
Dude, it has some of the best music, and it's not even close.
It's not even. So, my number one, and this is once again my favorite. I want to make sure. Oh my gosh, dude! There's literally so many good options on here.
I agree.
All right,
like Lion King.
My number one is Hercules. Hercules is my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. It is fantastic. And I don't care. Oh! I didn't even realize that was a Disney. I'm going with my second pick, The Incredibles.
Dude, I think you've beat me in some, this is not a good start for you right now.
Dude, okay, so let me just tell you. So, first of all, Hercules is insanely underrated. And number two, The Incredibles is, once you hear this, you will look at the movie differently. Every little boy thinks their dad is the strongest man in the world. Moms have to be flexible as all hell and keep control of the house. Every little girl feels invisible, and every little boy thinks he's the fastest thing ever. It is a beautiful parable on the modern family that.
So because it has a good idea, it's a good movie. That doesn't make sense.
Well, the movie in itself is also fantastic. Okay.
All right. Next one for me.
Yep.
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, cool. I'm winning this so far and away right now.
Third, and it could be first.
The people are going to agree with me.
I doubt it. Mulan.
Okay. Yeah, it's not bad, but I mean, there's
Eddie Murphy in that movie is fantastic. The premise of that movie is incredible.
I get 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, this is hard again, dude. I could do 20. Okay, so backstory. I cried in a movie theater as a 20-year-old on a first date. Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh my god, dude.
Fantastic movie. When he's flying down and he's trying to save Penelope and he's reciting that I'm bad and that's good. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment. And then
I'm embarrassing you right now.
No, I think I think this is not going to go the way you think. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's one of Meg's favorite movies, so I can't say anything.
Yeah. That's like my daughter's. My daughter loves that movie.
Meg loves that movie too.
There's still so many good picks.
So many good picks, and you
so
haven't hit any
picks.
of them.
I'm hitting them all. You're just picking you Bambi's on your list. I know it is, even though Bambi doesn't.
Not. Dude, you started with Hercules. What are you talking about?
Hercules is it's my favorite. Anyway, continue. I've got my next 2 already.
I'm going Fox and the Hound.
Okay.
I don't know. And I gotta go with Toy Story at this point.
Okay. Up and Toy Story 3.
Up is a good one.
Nothing. Talk about an emotional gut punch that is Toy Story 3.
Well, that's because you and Jess were graduating when Toy Story 3 happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Destroyed my soul.
Okay. I can't believe this movie slipped this far. We're going with Aladdin.
Dude, I think you're going to be so shocked at this reaction.
Frozen.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Like literally, neither one of I don't think you've picked anything that's on my top 10.
That's insane to even like act like that's true.
I'm being dead serious. I am taking this list way more serious than any other list. So I just got to make sure I'm not missing something now.
Lion King's not in your top 10. That's incredibly arrogant to say.
I'm still, buddy. I've never been more confident that I'm going to come out on top here. Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. One of my so this is not going to be a very popular pick, even with the people who I believe will side with me. A Goofy movie.
I love Goofy. That's a great pick.
Yeah, a Goofy movie is fantastic.
So underrated.
Dude, the whole, I still can watch the opening scene where he puts on the concert at the school. I still think it's cool as hell. Yeah.
And the concert that his dad and him get to on the stage. With
not nearly as cool as the beginning part, but yeah, it's good.
He's on stage with Powerline, which is like Michael Jackson.
I got the parable. I felt like they were going with Prince, but you know.
It's fine. Elvis. Whoever. I'm just saying.
To stand out
I don't know who was.
among the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud.
Yeah, Principal Mazer. Is that right when he's reaching for the girl's hand? Just flips the switch. Hey, that's Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore's in that movie.
Yes, he is. He's cheese-tastic.
This is for Pauly.
That pick was for Paula. All right. So, I once again, I'm just trying to do.
You're at 7.
So I literally. You know what's funny is I actually have never watched this movie in its entirety, but there's a moment in it that kills me that I think is one of the saddest things. I don't think I can pick it just because of that. I will. To heck with it.
Inside Out. Before Time? Oh, no, Inside Out.
Inside Out. Dude, when her imaginary friend sacrifices himself, the elephant guy, take her to the moon for me. I
Yeah. God, what is his name? I can't remember it.
Who cares? It's a beautiful moment.
All right, I'm going with. Is it mine? Yeah.
Yeah. I took a Goofy movie and. Yep.
Go on, Moana.
Son of a gun. That would have probably been on my top 10. Maybe. I don't know. There's still some.
See, this is where it gets tough.
I am Moana.
So I've never been a Snow White fan.
No, it doesn't do anything for me. There's still so many good options on the board. That's the thing. Oh, I think I've got one of my next two.
That I think I probably got. Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Emperor's New Groove.
Never liked it.
Really?
Never did anything for me, just personally. So I think I have, once again, so many good options. I'm definitely missing stuff.
These are your last two.
Yep, I know. So I am going. Where was it? I just want to make sure. A Bug's Life. Because I think A Bug's Life.
Love A Bug's
when
Life.
the two little guys go, we tweet. It's like it's comedy gold to me. And then there's so many good options. I have to really think about what I like best, and I'm gonna go to really try to win this thing too. Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I've never been a huge Finding Nemo fan. The dad kind of gets on my nerves. He's overprotective.
It was a real toss-up between that and Monsters, Inc. for me.
See, Willow loves Monsters Inc.
And it's a beautiful story as well. But I loved The Hunchback of Notre Dame as a kid.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in so many years.
Yeah, I just
Here's
remember.
Okay. I'm between, for my final pick, I'm between Monsters Inc. I've seen that a lot lately because Willow loves it.
Yeah.
So I'm between Monsters Inc. and Tarzan.
I love Tarzan too.
I love Tarzan, and it's got a phenomenal soundtrack.
Dude, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, Phil Collins.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude.
I'm going Tarzan.
I think we've all missed a really good one. Wall-E is fantastic.
Never was a fan. Though I could see where humanity's going with that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I watched because I had kids that I never would have watched. Brave is actually pretty good.
I've never seen it.
Brave's good. That's one you would enjoy.
Have you seen the new
watching.
one, Wish?
No, I have not.
It's good.
Big Hero 6 is really good.
Dude, it's Disney. Disney's got so many good movies.
Yeah, I know. They're not hitting them out of the park like they used to.
I won't recap it, but that'll be a screenshot that we'll release. Okay. And we'll see.
I think you're going to get blown away. I think you have desperately missed the boat on this. For something you actually want to put in and watch. I feel very, very.
Mulan is my go-to movie.
It's not better than A Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's insane.
It's not better than a Goofy movie.
Man, Goofy movie was a good pick.
It's not better than Toy Story 3.
But Toy Story 3 has sentimental meaning for you.
It's not better than A Bug's Life.
That's false. That's a lot false. Mulan is great. She saves China twice.
It is remarkable.
And then it's not better than the Incredibles. Assistant emperor, the assistant to the emperor, whatever, is you got to kill her, and he spares her, and then she still goes and saves it, and then the emperor is you've destroyed this, and then saved China. Mm-hmm. The emperor bowed to her, and you're sitting here saying A Bug's Life is better. It's insane.
Up might have the best opening scene of any movie of all time.
It's sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, what we're finding out on this podcast is I'm a sap.
Dude, here's what Megan said the other day, and I never really thought about it, but I agree. She's like, does Disney make a great movie without somebody dying in it? Like a Bambi, Land Before Time, Up, all these Finding Nemo. All these movies have somebody dying.
Moana,
in the
very grandma dies.
Yeah, so it's
in Emperor's New Groove, I don't think anybody dies, but I also don't think that's a great movie.
Lion King. I mean, everybody.
That's my wife's number one by a billion gazillion miles.
Emily, make sure you upvote this on Facebook as J1.
I know for a fact she would pick my list.
You just said I had her number one. Okay.
Oh, you had her number one, but it doesn't mean that my 10 can't overpower your.
When I throw in Beauty and the Beast and Mulan with Frozen on the side of that.
I think you are desperately going to miss the boat on this. And listen, this could be one of those moments I'm really wrong. But if people view it from what would you most want to pop in and watch?
Mulan.
If your kid is watching a Disney movie and you get to have a hand in picking it, as someone once again have a little bit more experience than you on that one.
3 years.
Anyway, yeah, a couple years. Yep. All right, what else we got?
I'm doing the most streamed movie on Disney Plus.
Oh.
Well, Wish is going to be number one right now, but guess what's number two? Moana. Ooh, and Encanto's in there. We forgot about that.
Moana's a great one. Moana is fantastic, and
Inside Out's 9.
Yeah, Inside Out. Inside Out's the weakest on my list that I picked just for that one sentimental moment.
I love Inside Out.
I should have definitely changed that for Moana. That was a mistake on my part.
Moana was the most streamed in 2023.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, okay, all right. What else are we? How are we doing? What is the?
No, that's it. That's it.
By the way, I mean, my shirt is this is one of my master's shirts. I did wear this intentionally. Thank you. I have another one that I'll be wearing tomorrow that's actually called Azalea.
There you go. Wait, tomorrow or next week?
I'll be wearing it. No, it'll be over by next week. I'll be coming down off. No, dude, I'm not looking forward to this weekend at all. I have way too much traveling. You know what's crazy is I'll be in 3 hours from the Masters, and I really should just go.
Skedaddle over. But, right.
Yeah.
All right. Your exit question is, I don't know if you're going to be able to come up with something, but you're a pretty smart guy. You can make up a lot of stuff at the end.
It seems like a challenge. It seems like reverse psycho.
What is something that no matter who you are, Logan Hayslip, Brad Pitt, Taylor Swift, no matter who you are, what is something that absolutely everybody looks stupid doing?
Wiping is my guess. I'm guessing that's something that's never flattering, so I'm going to go with wiping your butt. I mean, there's 2 different schools of thought. So you go forward, do you stand up and do the behind? Like, that's a good question. Are Brad Pitt and I alike like that? That might be the only way we're alike. So, I don't know. I'd say that's the thing.
You with that.
That's all that